great frontman needs a band behind them, but sometimes the people standing in the shadows were carrying the whole show. Today, we count down 10 times. Backup musicians didn't just support the star, they outplayed, outshone, and outlasted them. Subscribe so you never miss a countdown like this one. Number 10, Mick Ronson.
Don't you worry.
In 1970, a quietly spoken gardener from Hull, England, was marking out a rugby pitch for the local parks department when an old friend's visit changed everything. That gardener was Mick Ronson, and the visit was an invitation to back a struggling singer named David Bowie, a man who had scored one unlikely top 5 single and almost no momentum whatsoever. Ronson didn't just play guitar, he arranged strings, co-produced albums, and built the sonic architecture that turned Bowie into a global superstar. He played across 5 albums between 1970 and 1973, including The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and The Spiders from Mars and Hunky Dory, arranging the orchestral sweep of Life on Mars largely alone. He died in 1993 at age 46, never fully recognized in his lifetime for what he had built.
Don't try to tell me 'cause I can't feel.
Number 9, Hal Blaine. "35,000 sessions, 6,000 singles, 150 top 10 hits. Those are the numbers behind Hal Blaine, the Los Angeles session drummer who quietly played on more recorded music than almost any other human being alive. As a core member of the Wrecking Crew, the informal collective of studio musicians who backed artists across Hollywood in the 1960s and 70s, Blaine was the actual drummer behind records credited to the Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel, Frank Sinatra, the Byrds, the Ronettes, and dozens more. He played on 6 consecutive Grammy-winning records of the year between 1966 and 1971. When the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted him in the year 2000, they dubbed him the most recorded drummer in history. Beach Boys leader Brian Wilson publicly praised him as the greatest drummer he had ever heard. The frontmen got the album covers. Blaine made the music worth playing.
Hush, hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Number 8, Bootsy Collins.
I'd rather be with you until that day will fly away.
18 years old, and he had already outgrown the man who hired him. William Bootsy Collins joined James Brown's band in 1970, playing bass alongside his brother Catfish in a unit Brown dubbed the JBs. What Collins brought to those sessions went beyond technical skill. It was a physical, gravitational approach to the low end that reshaped how funk was constructed and felt. His bass line on Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine is as identifiable as any guitar riff in rock. Brown reportedly lectured him nightly about staying on the one, but Collins was already larger than the room. Within a year, he left for George Clinton's Parliament Funkadelic Collective, where his star-shaped bass and interplanetary persona made him one of the most iconic figures in popular music. In 2020, Rolling Stone ranked him number 4 among the 50 greatest bassists of all time. Number 7, Phil Collins. Before Peter Gabriel walked out of Genesis in 1975, the idea that the band's quiet drummer would become one of the best-selling solo artists of the next decade would have seemed absurd. Gabriel had fronted the group for nearly 8 years. The drummer sang backup. That was the arrangement. Gabriel left after the tour for The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, citing exhaustion and disillusionment with the music industry. The band auditioned replacements before their drummer quietly stepped up to the microphone and rendered the search pointless. Phil Collins fronted Genesis on A Trick of the Tail in 1976, and the band scored one of the biggest albums of the decade with Invisible Touch in 1986. His solo hits included In the Air Tonight, Susudio, and Another Day in Paradise. The frontman left. The backup musician became the one the world actually remembered.
Love doesn't shout, but the pain still grows. So stranger to you.
Number 6, Slash. Ask most people to picture Guns N' Roses, and they picture a top hat, a curtain of black hair, and a Les Paul guitar. Not the singer, the guitarist. That image, instantly recognizable across decades and cultures, belongs to Slash, born Saul Hudson, who was technically the backup musician while Axl Rose held the frontman title. Rose controlled the band, but Slash controlled the identity. His solo on Sweet Child O' Mine is one of the most recognized guitar moments in rock history. His image became a global brand long before he launched a successful solo career and a collaboration with Myles Kennedy that continues to draw arenas today. Axl Rose largely disappeared from public life for years at a stretch. Slash never did. The man standing behind the frontman turned out to be the face the world was actually watching. We are halfway through the countdown. Drop a comment below and let us know where you are watching from. We love seeing where this audience reaches around the world. And if you have enjoyed this countdown so far, hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. Number 5, The Band. In the rehearsal halls and back rooms of the mid-1960s, 5 musicians were slowly becoming more important than the man they were hired to back. Bob Dylan recruited them, originally a mostly Canadian group called the Hawks, for his landmark 1965 and 1966 Electric World Tour. The reaction from folk purists was volcanic. The band absorbed the hostility night after night, and the experience forged something extraordinary between them. They followed with private sessions in Woodstock, New York, later released as the Basement Tapes, then struck out on their own. The band released music from Big Pink in 1968 and The Band in 1969, both to immediate critical acclaim. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994. The man they backed won the Nobel Prize in Literature. The band he left behind won music's highest honors. Number 4, Mary Clayton.
Every night, just to make sure that you get me all right.
Wailing through a telephone receiver in the middle of the night in 1969, Mary Clayton recorded one of the most viscerally powerful vocal performances in rock history, and she did it as a backup singer, called in without warning to an after-midnight session she very nearly declined to attend. She was already in bed, hair in curlers, when the Rolling Stones producer reached her. She came anyway. Clayton's contribution to Gimme Shelter is not a background vocal. It is a confrontation.
I'm gonna pay the way I'm talking about.
Her voice, raw and cracking at its highest points, tears through the track with an intensity that momentarily overwhelms everything around it, including Mick Jagger, who can be heard on the original tape saying, "Whoo, that's beautiful," directly after her take. Her work was later spotlighted in the documentary 20 Feet from Stardom, which won the Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature in 2014, introducing her story to millions of viewers who had spent decades hearing her voice without knowing her name. Number 3, The Eagles.
Of the evening, when the bright lights
200 million records sold worldwide, the best-selling American band of the 20th century. Their compilation, Their Greatest Hits, sitting alongside Michael Jackson's Thriller, as one of the 2 best-selling albums in American music history. And it all started with Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Meisner standing behind Linda Ronstadt on a touring stage in 1971, playing her songs for her audience, drawing her paycheck, and quietly realizing they were better together than they were as anyone's backup band.
You can't hide your lying eyes.
Ronstadt later acknowledged that she knew from the start she had assembled something exceptional. and she actively encouraged the four to pursue their own work. Their first single, Take It Easy, reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1972. What followed was one of the most dominant commercial runs in the history of popular music.
I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be.
Number 2, Darlene Love.
So I will ask you what.
Phil Spector's Wall of Sound productions were among the most commercially successful recordings of the early 1960s, and many of them ran on a single voice above everything else. That voice was Darlene Love. In 1962, Spector assigned her lead vocal on He's a Rebel to the Crystals, a group she was not even a member of. The record hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Love was paid as a session singer. The Crystals received the credit. This pattern continued across multiple records and multiple years, with Love's voice generating chart success that was systematically attributed to other acts or to group names that did not reflect who had actually sung. The industry eventually caught up with her. Love was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2013. Rolling Stone placed her on its list of the greatest singers of all time. The frontmen and front groups she ghosted for faded. Darlene Love remained. Number 1, Lisa Fischer. For over 4 decades, one of the greatest voices in live music history has stood just slightly to the left of center stage, and most of the audiences who heard her never knew her name. Lisa Fischer has toured as a backup singer for the Rolling Stones since 1989, contributing to some of the most attended concert tours in history. She has also lent her voice to recordings by Beyoncé, Luther Vandross, Tina Turner, Chaka Khan, and 9 Inch Nails. In 1992, she won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance for her solo single, How Can I Ease the Pain? Proof that her gifts extended far beyond the supporting role she had quietly chosen to inhabit. The documentary 20 Feet from Stardom finally brought her story to mainstream audiences, earning its own Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature in 2014. Fischer has said in interviews that she simply loves being part of the music. The world has slowly come around to understanding that being part of the music, when you are Lisa Fischer, was always the headline.